Hi, everybody. I'm here with your favorite astrologer,
Hi,
Andre.
everyone.
Did I join your Patreon yet?
I think so. I haven't checked that in a
I
while.
went to join, and I know you can't really join from the iPhone. You have to join from
I think you joined the
the
members group on
oh,
YouTube, maybe. Yeah,
I
something
think I
like that.
did.
Thank you.
Okay, I thought I joined something. And
Mhm.
today I'm wearing my new shirt I got today, which is Glory to Ukraine.
Glory to Ukraine.
God bless the Ukrainian people. So can we start with that?
Yeah,
Any
well, that's
anything you're getting on Putin or whatever?
yeah. I mean, the thing with that is that it's stuck right now, but I see that improving starting mid-year and especially next year and the year after. These things don't move quickly,
I
people
know.
expect that they don't. And when I say that I see Putin's situation getting worse, I don't mean right away. In
Yeah.
the interim, he appears to be doing well, but I don't think he's doing well overall, and he certainly is under continued threat to his health, which is often one of the worst things, because when health starts to decline, people's fortunes tend to go with that decline as well. It's very difficult to lose your health and maintain your
Status.
position,
Yeah.
your standing. Yeah.
And what's interesting is all those brave people, thousands and thousands of people came out for Navalny's.
For Navalny, yeah, yeah. Navalny, the thing with Navalny, I remember that I had said a while back that his more later future, like as in next year, the year after, looked pretty good, but he had to get through this bump this year. But I didn't think, to be honest, I
And it
didn't
was going to
think
be
it
a
would be that.
bump out of the universe.
No, I didn't think it would be that.
I had a vision of him stepping outside the prison, looking up at the sun shining down on him. Now I realize there was no crowds or anything like that. It was just him stepping outside free, looking up. So now I realize that was meaning he's free now. I think his wife is going to make a big difference. I don't know if you've had time to look up on her, Julia,
No, she's one that I haven't checked yet. No.
but later check up on her. Maybe when I do your show next, you can take a look, see if you can get
Okay.
any information on her.
Yeah,
Her
because
family couldn't come to the funeral. I was really hoping they wouldn't come because, they would have grabbed her in a New York minute, her and her kids too.
yeah, yeah. Well, and this is the thing that she and many other women are having more and more impact. And this is the part that a lot of these toxic males don't get, that post 2005, there's this upward movement, where female energy is increasing. And in fact, I've always thought that that's Trump's inadvertent contribution. He thinks that he's going to bring in the second coming, of alpha male rule. It's the opposite. It's the total opposite. But, in the meantime, people would say, well, that can't be true because look how they're trying to take everything away. Yeah, they're trying, but trying and achieving it is another story. Like, look at these problems they're having now with the IVF, because they know that it's really unpopular to take it away. So they all said right away, oh, no, no, we want that. Meanwhile, they're trying to pass bills in Congress to take it away. Mike
Yeah,
Johnson,
they talk out of both sides of their
I mean,
tongue.
can you believe like the lying hypocrisy? It's just unbelievable the way these guys play. They're telling you one thing, but actually doing another,
I got to tell you something really funny. I read on one of those threads or something. Eric Swalwell, I guess that thing they had with Biden, the son, Hunter Biden,
Yeah,
was a
that's a
total
farce.
wash.
That's a farce.
And Swalwell asked Comer, is that his name, the head guy?
Homer, yeah.
He said, so when are we going to get the transcripts? When are those coming out? And Comer was really like, I don't know, like he probably won't release them for a while. And he said, so are they coming out in English or Russian?
Yeah, I know. It's pretty remarkable.
That
Pretty
pissed Comer.
remarkable. Pretty remarkable.
That pissed Comer.
Yeah, and there's no way, but Hunter Biden, his chart doesn't show anything.
You've
If
been
anything,
saying that. You've been
I mean, if
saying
anything, what I would tell him is get it in there soon as you can, because it's so favorable to you, you know, that there's no way. I mean, this whole thing of pinning things on him and convicting him, you know, those things that he's charged with. There's
It's a
nothing.
nothing burger. Apparently it was a real good. In fact, Comer left early. That's how bad it was.
Yeah, because they couldn't, they ask questions, you know, that there's
And
no
you know
answer.
who's most upset? Trump.
Well, of course.
Trump
Yeah.
was really hoping they'd make something out of nothing.
Yeah. No, I know he's probably upset about what's going on in Georgia too, but you know, in Georgia, the judge is asking, well, you know, there's not enough here. What are you presenting here? It's like you want me to remove Fannie Willis based on your speculations about something. You know,
Well,
where's the
that
evidence?
was the first question was, is Fannie Lewis, will she remain on the case?
I
Anything?
think so. I don't see her. Do you see her? Do you see Fannie
I never
Willis?
saw her leaving.
No, I think it's
He
just,
has to base it on a certain law. It's very hard to get rid of a DA.
Yeah.
And they haven't proved their case. They're trying to make up stuff and act like, you know, Trump wasn't as bad. They all act overwhelmed by, oh, and she's this, and like she could be a crook and an adulteress. There's nothing there that Trump hasn't already done 1,000-fold.
no, of course. And the thing is, I mean, this is where, in a way, Democrats have to learn from Republicans and just keep going. You know, Republicans, totally shameless. They're caught in 10 hypocrisies, 20, it doesn't matter. They just keep rolling along.
Those churchgoers are always getting arrested for child abuse.
Yeah, exactly. And they keep going. So Fannie Willis, just keep going. Take the case and plow on. You know, I don't know that case, though. I'm not sure if that case is.
I've been watching it, but when I read on it, it looks like she's staying.
Yeah, and it may be that one is, I think, post the election, though it looks to me to be too complicated to end up in court. I don't know. I don't know if you see it sooner,
I
but
will tell you what I told everybody. And also I do feel that guy that she hired, I don't see him finishing it out. I'm almost feeling either he steps down or she gets someone else in his place. So that's what I felt. But I'm going to tell you what I told everybody. Even when the Supreme Court said, yeah, Trump will listen to your case 2 months down the road. And everybody was going, oh my God, just hear me out. My guides were very clear. When people were like, and me too, I was upset. They said,
Sure.
It doesn't matter because he's not going to win.
Right.
Period.
You know, and there are some interesting, I looked at the chart for when the Supreme Court announced the decision. And I mean, it's a chart that in a way you'd say, well, who cares? But that's how astrology is based. When you look at origin charts. And what struck me was that chart, the moon was void of course at the time of the announcement. And when the moon is void of course, at minimum, the thing goes somewhere other than where you think it's going. It tends to go on a tangent or isn't what you expect it to be, number one. Number two, I saw these patterns relating to Trump's health. And then it struck me, oh, wait, April 22nd, that's when there is that conjunction in the sky. Mars is involved, which I have said is very dangerous to his health, right? Mm-hmm. So that might be that there is a connection to the fact that this doesn't even matter based on what really is going to be the problem for Trump, rather than the fact that they're trying to delay.
The guides were very like, yeah, don't even go there because it's not.
Yeah, and I mean, the only thing that is really, it's this disturbing as hell is that they're pretty clearly helping him out, because I saw this program where, you know, Chris Hayes on MSNBC broke it all down, and he said he mentioned 2 specific cases where they jumped in immediately. You know, there were cases they wanted to get involved in, and here they did this bait and switch. Jack Smith says to them, hey, why don't you just deal with this right now? Oh, no, let the other court do it. And then after the other court issues the ruling, clears the bell, no way you get immunity. Of course you don't get immunity. Then they say, okay, well, now we'll hear the case. Obviously, they're helping him out. And now if they wait until June to give their decision, then they're helping him out even more. They're trying to prevent that happening. But here's the other thing that I noticed, right? Jack Smith, I don't have a birth time, but just the day planets give me quite a bit of information. So Jack Smith, he is under stress in this month and next month up to the point when the court starts to argue it, April 22nd, that's when it switches. And his energy gets better and better. And then there's this really good moment in his chart. And at the end of, I wrote it down, hold on, it's at the end of June. At the end of June and into July. I wonder what that is. I don't know, but he's riding really high at that point. And even though at the moment, it looks like if you just go with, straight up logic, you'd say they're trying to stop that trial from happening at all because it would drive it into September or something. The Mar-a-Lago case, Eileen Cannon, she's going to do everything she can to prevent it. So I'm not sure why Jack Smith is doing so well and by the way, that's a period that is very bad for Trump. The period,
Ooh, thank you.
like when you go from mid-June to mid-July, that Saturn station, which I don't know why the astrologers that think he's going to do so well, they keep forgetting that station of Saturn. Saturn is really difficult, and for a person like Trump, even more so. And in Trump's case, part of it is his money. I mean, you can already tell
Oh, yeah.
he's in a lot of trouble because the prosecutors and the courts are in no mood to give him any breaks. You heard that thing that he tried to say, well, I'll put up 100 million. They said, no, you'll put up the whole thing. So that's a problem, right? But the other thing about Saturn in his chart is, aside from being instrumental in why he's a crook, because it's in the criminal house, that house is very linked to health and hospitals and dangerous health conditions. So once again, one more thing that you add in there, because it's not the only thing. There are other patterns like that. That April pattern in that conjunction is super dangerous for something happening on the health level. So there's that.
Ooh, you
all
heard
these
it
things
here,
to
you
consider.
guys. Well, you've been talking about this for a while.
For quite a while, yeah.
Listen, I want to tell you something. I told my sister I'd throw it by you. By the way, she says hi. She wants, I was minding my own beeswax at the store yesterday. I had a couple of errands to run. And I was at the donut place. I'm just kidding. But anyway, so I was, getting a few things for dinner, and all of a sudden, and this happens to me, I just, how you just get that overwhelming feeling.
Mhm.
And I thought, oh, some big news is getting ready to break. And every time my phone ticked, I looked real quick because I'm waiting for it. And my sister wrote me this morning and said she's been feeling odd. And a bunch of people wrote and said, oh my God, Linda, I know exactly. It's like we just keep, I'm not going to say it's bad news. I'm just saying some big news probably this week. Is there anything astrology wise that's happening?
This week?
Yeah,
Coming up?
this coming week.
I could see it. Let's just say that I could, because I think the entire month of March may be
It's tough.
more intense, more that way. And that could, yeah, sure. So,
But what I was feeling wasn't like expected, like unexpected. Like everybody's like,
unexpected.
what?
Huh.
Almost like something out of the blue.
But no sense of what it might be.
No, it could even be good news.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Somebody wrote an article, an intense article in the New York Times about how the Supreme Court actually, based on the lower court and their write-up, they have no choice but to go with the 14th Amendment. Technically, they have no choice. I mean, I doubt if they will, but wouldn't that be something if they came back and said, yeah, he's not entitled 14th Amendment? Whoa.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, in a way, though,
It's more than likely not, but do you see what I'm saying?
and the thing about that is that would also be a bit chaotic. I mean, if you think of the logic, what that would mean that now, then Illinois, there's that judge there, so maybe,
Yeah,
but
we'll see.
if I had to say, I would guess probably not,
Yeah, I'm just, I can't, I'm spitballing it. I can't tell you it's a death. I just felt like it's all over the news. Listen, years ago, I was working labor and delivery. And all the gals were gathered around the desk where we brought clients in and stuff. And so all of a sudden I got a hit and I said, you guys, something big is getting ready to happen, and it's going to be on every news channel there is. It's going to be so much news stuff, it'll take over a year, and everybody will be kind of sick of it by the time it finally finishes. And they said, what? I said, I can't tell you what it is, but I just see news programs. And it was the OJ, 2 days
wow.
later. And it was on for even the Cartoon Channel cut to follow that Bronco.
Maybe they'll arrest.
But it was huge. It was huge. That's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like it could be something, even some sort of weather related. And so, but something's getting ready to happen.
Well,
Okay.
let's hope it doesn't affect too many people in a negative way then.
I wasn't feeling death and devastation. Like with OJ, I didn't feel, there was death. I just knew it was newsworthy, like everybody. That's what I'm feeling, newsworthy. Okay. Do you feel, though, that when they come back, they have to vote that President Trump has no immunity?
I do. It's just that because if you think about it, it's so preposterous in that then you grant all presidents. You can't just
I know, because Biden could be
say, well,
sitting there and saying, I'm not going to let, if Trump had won, he won't. I'm not going to let you in.
Right. So there are two ways this will go, I think. One way is they stretch it to the June period when apparently then they release all their things. And that would be a deliberate, very deliberate attempt to shut the case down. But if they do something different and quickly, and this would be the thing, if we could see that, might they come back in early May? Because then it's possible that the trial happens in the summer because,
Because Jack looks really good in the summer.
He does. So there's that, right? But then that's the question, right? Are they going to stretch it or are they not? I looked at the judges. Again, no birth times for anyone, just birthdays for, Roberts. I looked at Roberts, Kavanaugh, Amy Coney Barrett, and Gorsuch. I didn't even look at Clarence Thomas. I think you've said in the past he's the most likely to leave first. Is that what you have said? Right. So what I noticed though with the court is that Roberts starts to run into big change energy in 2026, 2027, and then it involves Coney Barrett and Kavanaugh going into the end of the decade. But that's still really far away. In the near term, if you're looking for the court to get all bounced,
well, if Biden wins, more than likely he's going to add, because due to pressure, people are going to say you need to add 2 more justices.
That is possible. Yeah. That is possible.
To where it changes their ability to be king of the show.
Yeah, that is entirely well. I'll just say this: I sincerely hope he does.
I think you heard this on Chris's show, Chris Hayes. Was it his show or somebody else said they were saying they're feeling the reason the judges are helping Trump, one of the reasons, because if he was president, he would take the power away from the Supreme Court. He wouldn't want them messing with anything. But one of the reasons they're doing this is because Thomas and Eliotto want to retire, and they don't want to retire under a Democratic president.
Yeah. Well, and there's also I saw this other report where the judges they put in there, that Trump put in there, are really to the right. Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, and Coney Barrett, and apparently it's not so much that they like Trump. Nobody likes Trump because Trump is a crazy person with totally selfish impulses, and he could actually, as you say, he could turn against the court and create a mess. But they will go with Trump in whatever way helps them. Apparently, they have this broader view. They want to take down the administrative state. They're really against the expansion of government. So anything they can do to take that away, they will do. I mean, I don't know if you heard the latest that now they're trying to weaken a gun rule that Trump put in, the bump stocks, right? Bump stocks, 83% of the country, or not, ridiculously 90, whatever, of the people are against that. And they want to take that restriction away because they don't want the government to be creating any rules. It's this logic, this insane logic, in my opinion, because if the government can't protect you from firearms, what else is the government good for? I mean, what's the point of anything if you can be shot
Yes,
at
exactly.
the store? There's nothing more to argue about, right? So it's really quite awful. But yeah, overall, you're totally right. It's astonishing to me that they would be interested in, even if they're Republicans, but helping Trump. I mean, Trump is not someone you want to help. He'll turn against you.
Yes,
Sure.
yes.
Yeah.
He was mad at them when they refused to listen to the voting was rigged. Remember,
Right.
even Kavanaugh turned it down, and he talked trash about Kavanaugh on his Twitter feed. Terrible things. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Well, no, with him, if you don't give him what he wants, it's going to be like that all the time, right? So
Somebody wants to know, do you see liens being put against Trump's properties? Letitia James, could she go in and just take it?
well, isn't that what she's proposing to do? That
Yeah.
yes, he's got to sell. In
I
fact,
think it's March 6th, or is that our other gal, Jean Carroll, because she TikToked it too. She said, I think somebody's due on March 6th, and that's when they can start taking property.
well, I know that, this is the other remarkable thing about Trump and his lawyers, and because they told the court apparently, well, if you don't accept the $100 million thing, then he has to sell properties. So so sell properties. Like that's the whole idea, right? The whole
Yeah.
idea is, start selling. And I don't think, my feeling is, based on his chart, his financials are in a lot of trouble, right?
Oh,
So I don't
really?
know if it's liens or he's got to sell. It's not a good scene. It's a very bad
love
scene.
it. I love it.
When you see in a chart multiple points challenging you at the same time, and they fit into the area, because I've been saying for years, the whole area of loans, insurance, taxes, that's not a good place, other
Right.
people's money. You're seeing it before your very eyes. He's now had, more than one judgment. And I think it'll continue. He's going to get more judgments. And notice too that there's always a woman on the end of it, right?
Oh, all the women are doing it. Yeah.
Prosecutor, judge, Jean Carroll.
When I read for him back in the beginning, I said a woman will take him down. I said a woman. I should have said women will take him down.
Yeah, exactly.
So Jack Smith asked for the July 8th trial date, and since he looks good in July, maybe he actually gets it.
Yeah, I'm definitely not giving up. But I don't see how Jack Smith, that period there is too good for it to be a total nothing burger. The other thing I noticed about Jack Smith is that his chart looks really good in 25 as well. Like he's really busy and also successful, which makes me suspicious, because the theory of the case isn't the theory that, okay, Trump wins and then he shuts everything down. That's not what it looks like to me. It looks to me the other way, because Trump's situation gets worse in 25 and 26, right?
Right.
So
I
to
see
me,
Jack Smith doing something with that not Jean Carroll, with that Eileen Cannon.
yeah, well, Eileen Cannon can only take it so far, before if she does something really, really crazy.
She's already starting.
She's already started. Yeah, exactly. So,
Linda and Andre, can you tell us about something about Princess Kate? Now, I know.
I told you I looked it up. Remember I told you?
Well, yeah, but I didn't tell these people.
Okay. No, but I told you the timing.
Yeah, I knew psychically she's really sick is what I'm getting.
She's sick
It's
now?
a abdominal area, but I got this sudden hit that, that not that it'll take her down, but I mean, she's that sick and the whole family is worried about her. I see Prince Charles able to get through his a little faster than her. So, you were looking at her chart and you saw bad health aspects in when?
2027. It's a bit later.
Okay, so a couple of years away.
She's got well, it's a little more like 3 years. Could be as early as 26, but there's a formation there that gets really triggered.
What about now? Is she in a challenge now?
No, it's not as pressing. No, it's
Okay.
definitely something that builds up. But this can happen a lot when you see health breakdowns. It's not like it happens right at the time. It can start to signal earlier. So your perception, your intuition can be totally on.
She's getting the best care, and I think she's psychically really not interested in getting any sicker.
Mm.
So, okay, so lots of prayers out for her. David said, I'm interested in Andre's take on the stack up of planets in Aries and Pisces, especially Pisces into March 2025. It's pretty incredible to see 9 luminary bodies stacked together like this, and it must surely be an unusual event.
Well, I'll tell you who that's really bad for.
Ooh.
The orange cockroach. That's who, because that the whole idea is when you have your sun and moon and Gemini and Sagittarius, the last place you want planets to cluster is in the sign that squares, and when those planets are in his death house. Not a good plan. That's obviously a bad.
Oh my
setup,
gosh.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about our Biden? Is he okay that time?
Okay, so Biden, the thing about Biden is that he's been having a really hard time since last year around the age thing. He's old, this and that. But it's right around now, as we move into March, into the summer, when it's the Saturn. When someone is accusing you of being too old, Saturn. Saturn is moving into much better degrees pretty much for the rest of the year, excepting, and this is where it gets a little tricky, in that he quotes his birth time as 8:30, and I had seen a pretty good argument that an astrologer made that he might be born a little earlier, because if he's born, and when you're born in 1942, someone writes 8:30 on the thing, it could have been 8:20 or 8:15 even, and earlier does fit better with some progressions around when he got elected, right? But if it's 8:30, then the middle of the summer could be a little rough for him. If it's earlier, then he's going to experience it earlier in the spring, but it's still a flyby. And the main point is both of those, right? The main point is that the late summer and into the fall is quite good around the Saturn. So that really helps him with the election, getting winning.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Did you take a look at Nikki Haley?
Yeah, Nikki Haley, actually, I'm happy. Okay, so I'm happy that she's fighting Trump and damaging Trump by finally saying the same things that Chris Christie was saying, pretty much. Some are even worse. But I think it's better if she just damages him but doesn't actually win. She scares me more. If she were to run as the nominee, her chart is pretty strong going into the election. So my feeling is that what she's doing is she's setting up her future really nicely by attacking him, because she's saying to the voters, we're going to lose. You're voting this guy, you're putting this guy in there, we're going to lose. So then she's going to look more prophetic and so forth, because the end of the year looks pretty good.
Losing. She loses by a good portion too.
Well, she does, but she's telling them the truth, and she is getting quite a large number, even though she's losing,
Right.
Yeah. So, but as I say, I prefer, I think if something happened and she were the one running, that would worry me more than Trump running against Biden in November.
Right. Gemini Girl wants to know, Ukraine, will they ever get the help they need? I know they just got some from the European. They just got some, and they just blew down a whole bunch of jets.
I think they will. There's one place where you can get really good information that is, you could say, more nonpartisan, do you ever check out the Economist? The Economist has these podcasts where they go over things in China, different places. And the analysis I heard, which seemed really strong, logical, was that this year isn't good for Ukraine, but Russia is still not going to make any significant gains. They may get a couple of cities here and there, but they're not going to overrun the country. And next year looks much better. And the astrology reflects that too, because once Jupiter goes into Gemini and into the next sign, it's better for Zelensky. Putin still does reasonably well for about a year. You know, it's really in the middle of 25 and 26 when Putin's situation really moves moves downward, right?
So he's going to win as president, even though look at those thousands of people on the street with Navalny.
Yeah,
Well, they're not going to vote for him, but he'll fake it. He'll say he won.
Well, look, I mean, there's already a guy apparently who wants to run against him, and he won't let him. So, I mean, Putin is. I mean, this is like it's a pretend democracy. You know, they're not really doing democracy; they're doing a fake democracy.
Okay, I'm curious on Andre's take. By the way, several people have written and said they're very sorry about your mom.
No, thank you for.
I'm curious about Andre's take. What his take is on the effect of the upcoming lunar eclipse on March 25th might be on Trump's New York criminal case set to start the same day. Whoa.
Well,
April 20th might signal for April 22nd week SCOTUS briefing on presidential immunity. Okay.
neither of those are good for Trump. Neither. Trump's been on a pattern for quite some time where the eclipses don't help him. By the way, it was there, just so people know, this thing that happened with the Supreme Court, he got a momentary good angle. There were 3 planets that coalesced in a good angle, one of which is Saturn, therefore he got a delay. But that's like, to me, Trump is a lot like in the world of stocks, when you have a stock that's worth $100 and then it drops to 50. And then you think, oh, for good reason, it drops to 50 because the company's tanking. Then it goes up to 60 and you think, oh, it's coming back. No, it's not. Just wait, it's going to drop to 25 going the other way. The overall year is very negative, but you're not going to get every single thing going in this direction. So yeah, the eclipse, you said it's at the trial. What is it that it correlates with?
And we are approaching eclipse season. Sorry. The eclipse on March 25th and the New York criminal case set to start the same day. And what about the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction on April 20th?
Okay,
what will that signal for the April 22nd hearing? Okay,
so that's what I said earlier. So first of all, the eclipse. The eclipse is in his legal house. It's not in a good place. Plus, look at that. It's in court, right? When he gets in there, not good. Neither was the prior eclipse either, and you saw what happened. He got totally taken down. The one on the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, that's the thing I was telling you earlier, that's the point in time that I had said last year. It's very dangerous to his health. There are some astrologers that think this is helpful to him in terms of the judges helping him. Maybe it'll turn out that way. I'm skeptical. I see it much more as a danger to his health around that time, because of the way it lines up with one of his planets.
Right.
That happens, right? So time will tell, but at most, the most you'll get is the Supreme Court, through naked partisanship, they could, listen to the arguments and then not do anything until June. That's the most you'll get, right? It's true, okay. But I'm not sure that that'll happen either, right? And then there's the question that if something happens to his health, it's not going to matter what the Supreme Court, does or doesn't do, type thing.
Yeah, they just keep assuring me he won't win. Did you look at Navalny's chart around the time of his exit? Did you happen to notice anything on there?
Saturn.
Okay.
The thing with Saturn, that's the one. I apologize to the viewers that when I said in one of our last ones that Navalny looked good in, 25, 26. Well, first you have to get through 24. And, I should have said this period is difficult, but I probably wouldn't have said it's difficult that he's going to die difficult. It just,
no, because you don't want to,
Saturn. Saturn that way is type of planet that, remember I said, how in the case of criminals, you know, you see some of these criminals that commit crimes for 5 years, 10 years. It's always Saturn when finally the system catches up to them and brings them in for prosecution and
Right,
incarceration and the whole bit, right? So
right.
it's a difficult planet.
And have you ever done a chart on Yellowstone? Ever took a look-see, or can you do on a geographical area?
I can look into it, see what I can find, but it's hard to do something like that. I've seen charts, for instance, for cities where it seems like it really vibrates. A few years ago, remember that Florida city where the building totally collapsed,
Yes,
like out of the blue? And the chart, I looked at it and it looked really reflective of the event, you know, something sudden, catastrophic. But getting good charts is tricky for those
yeah.
things. Yellowstone, I mean, it's a park. Where would you even start? Maybe it might be out there. It's possible.
So Larry's asking Netanyahu, is he going to do something terrible? I already feel he has. He won't listen to Biden, no matter how much Biden says, please start working on two. And Hamas isn't working with him either. But Hamas can throw the fact that all these innocent people are dying, even though they're the ones hiding behind them. But my hit has always been Netanyahu is going to do something really stupid. Was it the shooting of those people? Or is it going to be when the United States starts dropping things, they might take down something that the United, you know what I'm saying? Something stupid's going to happen. That's my hit. What did you see on his chart?
Netanyahu's got another huge challenge later in the year. When Pluto comes back into Capricorn for a few months, it could be the end for him, you know. And so and then the other thing about him is that he's one of those people that fits really poorly into the 25, 26, 27 period. So that also makes me suspicious about his future. He probably doesn't have a future in Israel, you know. It's
They
just
want
that
him
right
gone.
now,
The Israelis want him gone.
they do. It's just that the Israelis dislike Netanyahu, but they really dislike Hamas as well, you know, because Hamas is a pretty brutal organization. So
Yeah. And, you know, Egypt won't work with them either. Egypt's closed down those borders and they're like done.
yeah.
Oh, Sheila says, thank you, Linda and Andre. With the secret social media accounts Cheeseborough had, what will be his accountability? Did you hear anything about that?
Well, no, I know that I looked at I don't know, last week I looked at Cheeseborough and he's got a problem. Yeah, that guy I'll tell you one thing, at minimum, he's really sweating, really sweating. And he could very easily, well, there are two ways it can go. One way is that he's forced to talk a lot more than he wanted to, or he might get charged too, because when you see a lot of planetary pressure activity and you've just been caught with your hand in the cookie jar, because they found these social media accounts where now he's saying, oh, I was just saying those things, you know, like when someone has a journal and they talk about killing people in the journal and then they say, oh, that was just me playing with my thoughts. Yeah, but you did what the journal says.
Yeah.
You know, because he was saying in the journal, he pretended like he wasn't that involved. He was really involved, right?
Oh.
So then typically a person like that, the feds will say, okay, well, we've got you red-handed, so now you got to give us more. If you don't give us more, then we have to charge you. And,
Right, right.
Yeah.
Is there, now this is interesting. This is for pause. Is there some astrological aspect currently that has influenced so many people to break or fracture bones? I broke my ankle over the weekend and learned that 3 other readers on YouTube have also broken ribs, arms, and legs. Oh no.
Yeah, well,
Go anywhere.
I don't know about, that would be an interesting to look up. There's probably a statistic somewhere. My feeling is though that you're just tuning into the people who get charged, you know, where you can break a bone, right? I remember in my own case, I broke my foot many years ago and then I thought, geez, like, I thought you're supposed to be the astrologer, but it didn't occur to me that it might happen, right? I was playing sports and the aspect was there, you know, to reflect it, including that it was the low part of the body and things like that. So that's almost always what you see, always actually, you know, you'll look and you'll see an aspect, and it just means those people share the
Right, exactly.
and not necessarily the same planet either. That's the thing, that can vary, one person for one reason, one for another, but it's just your own, how that thing, where if you buy a green car, then all you see is green cars everywhere. So when you break your own foot and all of a sudden you're conscious of all the other people.
Yeah, that's true. That's
They
true.
keep popping up, yeah.
Grocery, Barbara wants to know when grocery prices are coming down. So I actually went to the grocery store the other day. And I got like 6 chicken breasts for $6. And eggs had come down. They're still expensive comparatively, but organic eggs were $6 for 2 dozen.
Really? That's
Yeah,
good.
Safeway.
That's good. Yeah.
So a lot of stuff's gone down, but I think with the new administration, you heard it here. I think, I see, what's his name winning? Atticus, for state senate. But I think that Katie Hobbs, is that her name? What's her name?
In Arizona?
No, that's not, sorry, I got the wrong one. The one running for senate from California.
Katie Porter against Adam
Katie
Schiff, right?
Porter. I don't see her winning, but I see her being involved with some commission to really get these people that have made profits beyond profits and cut down the size and still charged us more. They're really gonna start working on that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, keep in mind that overall, the US economy is the best economy on the planet, number one.
Right.
Number two, the wages have risen more than inflation has taken money away. So people, they can tell you that they're not doing as well, but they're doing better than before.
Right.
And having said all that, yes, I know that prices are up. I mean, one of the ways the other day I thought, you go to Trader Joe's, and I noticed that they're selling these little containers of half and half milk. They used to be $1, now they're $1.79. I thought, wow, that's almost double. So it's gone up. And at Costco, I noticed about a 20% up price, things that they were. So there's definitely been inflation, but this is the problem when back in COVID, they threw so much money into the system, that when you do that, the money is, there's too much of it. So then people buy things, right? But that's part of the price, right? But the demand and supply, it's basic economics. You'll get these rises, and I mean, think about it. It's almost like a fact of life, the way the money system is. Every 10 years, things cost more. Like if you go back to the 1980s or whatever, it was half the price, and you kind of wonder, like, how is it that across time things get, they become more expensive? Because there'll be periods when there's too much demand, price goes up, and then they don't bring it down. I mean, that would be hard to do.
That's the truth. That's the truth.
Exactly. So you're probably right that the next administration, like, see, this is the thing. If you get another Democratic administration, then they're more free to work on these things,
Yeah.
At the moment, it's hard with the House, the way it is and everything. It's
They're
difficult.
going to do something. Somebody asked about auto insurance. Governor Newsom is going to really get on the auto insurance people about milking people. I mean, I've been driving my car. I've been driving, never had an accident, knock on wood. But, and they keep upping me, and I've only driven in the past 3 years. I leased a car. I had 30,000 miles I could put on it. I've got less than 10,000 miles, and it's due back in September. But in the meantime, my rates are going up.
I guess they don't trust you, huh?
I don't know what the heck. Jesus. A lot of people writing about your loss, by the way.
Oh, well, thank you, everyone. Thank you for your thoughts. I appreciate it.
A lot of people asking about Kate's health. Did you ever take a look at Taylor Swift?
I did, but now I'm drawing a blank. Taylor Swift. What was it about Taylor Swift that I thought was
How's she doing?
Oh, yes. Okay. So Taylor Swift, the one thing that's for sure is she's a definite Biden supporter.
Oh, good.
And Taylor Swift, she already endorsed him before. She's probably waiting for the right time. That's a majorly important endorsement because that will cut through a lot of the, young people that are mad at Biden, all that stuff. you know, so,
So listen, Biden's decided, no, I'm gonna just airdrop supplies. This is ridiculous, because it's part of our rules of war. If you are affecting communities, you have to feed them and give them healthcare, and
yes.
that they're not doing that. So do you think that that will bring Biden's numbers up, that he's,
Well, there's also, okay, so Biden he's such an interesting character in that he says things at times and you think, maybe you shouldn't have said that, because he was with Seth Meyers and he said, no, we're gonna have a ceasefire very soon.
I know, and they didn't.
So, well, no, but I mean, he's talking about like pretty soon, next week, you know, not then, coming up. So, that and this, the point is, it does line up with the pressure on his chart is dropping, right? It's dropping.
Okay.
So that's the main thing. The more we get into March and April, it gets easier for him. Yes.
Did you ever look at Scott Perry? Is he
No.
going to jail for his role in this insurrection?
He's not one I've looked at. No. What is your take, that he is?
I think he is. I think, let me tell you how mad Jack is. This is a flash I got. Jack is so mad about what SCOTUS is doing. He may go ahead and start doing Jenny Thomas and everybody involved. Remember, he wasn't going to do that. He was going to wait till he did Trump. He's thinking about it, but I don't know if he'll do it, because also he doesn't need Biden to have the pressure with them saying, oh, he's just doing this so Biden will win.
I mean, the thing is, though, that, see, the thing is this, right? The whole Trump thing is he's all in on winning, right? Trump not winning is a total legal disaster for him and all his crooked friends, because then the Department of Justice will just continue and take them all down. And this is not that unusual. Look at past periods. In Watergate, it took years to bring those people, but they all ended up in prison, 7 years, 5 years, 8 years. You know, because if you don't do it, this is what takes the system down. Trump is telling you the opposite. He's saying things like, oh, it's all going to hell, and he wants to take justice away. That's not what helps a country. A country is supported by putting people in the slammer when they break the law, right?
That keeps our democracy.
Yeah, exactly. Keeps the order in the system.
So, well, thank you, my friend. Also, my book is out. I got a copy today.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Way to go.
I'll send you a copy.
Thank you.
So, Tana helped me print this. I did have my nephew, who is really good at punctuations and stuff, go through the book, but he had gotten sick and stuff. So by the time he got it to me, and I went to put it to Tana to put in the thing, the book had already got printed. So it's probably going to have some mistakes, but I'm not a writer. So
a few commas. It's got a few too many or too few commas.
it might have a few semicolons that aren't supposed to be there, or I don't know. It's not blatant, I don't think, but I hope you guys enjoy it.
Well, as long as the message is good.
The message is what it's about. You know, I'm not going to try to market it or run all over the place. But it's, if you just put on Amazon, if you just type in Linda, it shows up.
It shows up. Very good.
Yeah. So my friend said, oh my God, I only got LIN and look, and it's the first thing. It's my book and then Linda Ronstadt.
Excellent.
So,
all right. Well, way to go. That's a major accomplishment.
So a lot of stuff is getting ready to come up. So the next time it's your turn.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
no, you're going to be gone next week, right?
Yeah, next week, unless it would have to be something like Wednesday. No, even Wednesday. Yeah, it'll have to be the week after that. Yeah, when I come back, the week of whatever that is. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we love you all, you guys. Thank you so much for all the questions.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.